news today. It's 10 o'clock, the headlines. Grades are down, but spirits still high as A-level students received their results this morning.
Oh, well done. So, Abigail, tell us what you've got.
So I've got an A star in law, an A star in psychology, a B in religious studies, and an A star in my EPQ.
Fears more than 60 people have died after a boat carrying Senegalese migrants capsized in the Atlantic Ocean. An investigation underway and a member of staff sacked after treasures are found to be missing, stolen or damaged at the British Museum.
We've got the latest from here in Australia as England's Lionesses prepare for their first ever World Cup final.
We'll find out why there's been a huge backlash over a prosthetic nose in a new movie. Hello, a very good morning to you. Hundreds of thousands of A-level students are receiving their results this morning, and new figures show the overall pass rate in England, Wales and Northern Ireland is at its lowest since 2008. Students were warned they may get lower marks, particularly in England, in order to get back to pre-pandemic levels. Well, in 2019, just over 25% of A-level grades were A or A star across England, Wales and Northern Ireland. In the following 2 years, that number increased when teacher assessments were introduced due to COVID, peaking in 2021 when almost 45% of all A-level grades were A or A star. Although that dropped to below 40% last year, the number of top grades remained high. But today that figure is just over 27%, a return to pre-pandemic levels. Well, the Education Secretary, Gillian Keegan, says pupils shouldn't be disappointed in their results, despite the push to bring grades down, a sentiment shared by Labour's Bridget Phillipson.
Still got the same access to university. They should still have the same access, either because of the offer they have or the firm choice they have, or in the clearing system.
But do you concede that they have been the unluckiest year?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Everybody has a view on this. You know, I was talking to GCSE students this year who thought they were the unluckiest because they have got no teacher assessed grades and they're going to have to do exams all the time. You know, the reality is everybody has to just do the system that we have. You know, somebody asked me, you know, well, what will people ask you in 10 years' time? They won't ask you anything about your A-level grades in 10 years' time. They'll ask you about other things you've done since then, what you've done in the workplace, what you did at university, and then after a period of time, they don't even ask you what you did at university.
Are you worried about the disproportionate effect that it's having on poorer pupils, the effects of COVID and the knock-on effects? Lower grades, we know, will disproportionately affect the most deprived, because research shows that half of them haven't had access to things like catch-up lessons, where about a quarter of better-off kids have had access to these lessons. Are you worried there about the attainment gap for that cohort and the lifelong implications that could have?
I'm worried about the attainment gap, full stop. It's always something. It's the number one priority that we've always had. It's funny because I got 10 O-levels from a comprehensive school in Knowsley, and I went back and said to a few teachers who are still around and said, would any of you assess me of getting 10 O-levels? They said no, we would have said 6 maximum.
I think it is right that we see a return, and I know that young people want the chance to demonstrate everything that they've worked hard for, everything that they've learned in recent years. And I do want to say congratulations to all of the young people receiving their results today. They've worked really hard. It's been a really challenging couple of years for our young people, everything that they experienced during the pandemic and now coming out of it. And today will be a day for them to celebrate all of their hard work, all of their commitment, and also the brilliant and amazing staff working in our schools and colleges. I know they'll be making sure in the days and weeks ahead that young people have got the opportunities and the options that are available to them, so they can move on to that next path on their journey.
So that's the politicians. Let's find out about the students themselves. Milena Veselinovic is at a college in central London. And Milena, it's such a nervous morning, isn't it, when you go and get your A-level results? How's it been there?
Well, I wouldn't want to go back to that personally, Anna. It was so nerve-wracking for hundreds and thousands of pupils across the country, many of them here in central London at ADA, which is a digital skills college. So a lot of the pupils here actually go on to do apprenticeships and take different types of qualifications, such as BTECs. But I can be joined now by Gulten. Come over here, Gulten. She's done 2 BTECs and an A level. Now, first of all, did you get the results that you were hoping for?
Yes, I definitely got the results I wanted. It's going to get me into the university
university that I want to go to.
Great. And what are you going to be doing at uni?
I'm going to be studying psychology.
So tell me, your generation, you've had the challenges of COVID, of remote learning. How difficult was that?
Well, I mean, it was quite difficult. It was hard getting used to remote lessons. Like, it's not the same as being in a classroom, seeing all my peers, being able to turn to the person next to me and ask what are we doing today? So, I mean, but my school was really good at supporting us through that. Like, because it's a tech school, like digital skills were quite, adept at that type of thing. So, I was able to get through it smoothly.
And so you did not actually sit exams for your GCSEs, right?
No, so my secondary actually let us sit our exams throughout like year 9, 10 and 11. So I actually sat 2 exams in year 9. So I think I was in a better spot than other people because I knew how to do exams.
So was it kind of less of a shock, I suppose, sitting for your A levels in that sense?
Yeah, I was more used to sitting exams and like being in an actual exam hall and doing what I was meant to do.
So what are you, tell me what are your hopes for the future? You're going to be studying psychology if I'm correct?
Yeah, so I want to do psychology. I don't really know what that's going to take me, but yeah, I'm just going to go with it and see. Maybe throughout university I'll figure out something that I like.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Gulden. So for her and so many students here, it was a really stressful morning, but they're over the hump now. They can start planning for what they want to do next.
OK, Milena, thanks very much indeed. Well, let's take you over to our correspondent Dan Whitehead now, who's at UCAS headquarters in Cheltenham. And so what are UCAS saying about this year's A-level results then, Dan?
Well, we've got the stats through in the last hour or so, not specifically looking at the grades, but how many people have managed to get their first and second choices of university places and how many are going to be going through the clearing system this afternoon. So what we can say is that 79% of UK applicants this year have gained a place at their first choice of university or college. Now that is down from last year, 2022, but it is still higher than 2019, which was at 74%. I think it reflects what was expected, that there is this transition. We're in the second year of this transition back towards pre-pandemic levels. There have been in the grading this year still some compensation given to students for the disruption they've faced over the last years, but not as much as we've seen in 2020 and 2021 when of course the exams were cancelled and students got their grades based on teacher assessment. So 79% of students today getting their first choice. There's 12% who have been given their place, their insurance choice, their second choice, but 9% who are going to go through the clearing system, or they certainly have the option to. They didn't get the first or second choice. Now, UCAS say there's nearly 29,000 courses available. They expect around 50,000 students today to be going online, to be contacting the UCAS representatives here to see if they can get a place that is going to be available. Around 200 staff, 50,000 putting on those calls. The clearing system for places at university opens at 1 o'clock.
Good evening, welcome to Sydney on a chilly night here on the day that the Lionesses still celebrate getting through to the World Cup final where they will meet Spain next weekend. Well, today's been a rest and recovery day for them. They were absolutely spent after last night's comfortable victory in the end over Australia. Emotionally spent, physically spent, and they are at their base, which is about an hour from here in Terrigal. Their hotel is there, their training camp is there as well. And so is our sports correspondent, Rob Harris. And Rob, I guess the Lionesses and Serena Wiegmann, the manager, have got a few decisions to make ahead of the final against Spain. A very different sort of team, a free-scoring team, and they will have Lauren James back from a red card. And before last night, she was the top scorer. What do they do for this match?
These are really welcome decisions for Serena Wiegmann to have to make dilemmas rather than dealing with shortages in the squad. It's the return of Lauren James, who of course has served her 2-match suspension for the stamp in the Nigeria match, and in her absence others have stepped up. So while she had 3 goals by the time of her suspension, we now have Lauren Hem and Alessia Russo both on 3 goals as well. So certainly that will give Serena Wiegmann an option. This has been a tournament of her changing around the team, switching formations, although she has kept the same lineup for the quarters and the semis, unlike last year at the Euros when the entire same starting 11 was kept throughout, and of course they went on to win the trophy. So she knows how to change things up, and it certainly is paying off here. And they have had a bit of time now to sort of take it all in here in Terrigal. They're actually just about to go for their team dinner, I believe, here north of Sydney, and it's a bit of a tranquility away from the World Cup frenzy of Sydney that they're going to be going back to. And the FA really have created that home from home here with a sort of vibe for them to relax.
And away from the public, which is the main thing. Just a nice, as you said, nice bit of peace and quiet. Now they know Spain a bit. They played them at the Euros last year, but it's a very different team here. It's almost a completely new team because Spain had a dispute with their federation over the coach, and most of the team then walked away, and they were left with 3 players, and have now got a new set. Now you've been also talking about disputes today, and this is to do with the England team. Tell us what's going on.
Yes, the England team didn't manage to resolve their row with the FA over bonuses. They were in dispute over the level of bonuses for their achievements here in Australia. And of course, they now have gone all the way to the final. And in the last few minutes, I've been speaking to the FA's chief executive, Mark Bullingham, about the pay dispute and the lack of equal pay still and the gender pay gap.
So yes, of course, we'd love to get to the point where everyone's paid the same, and I think that has to be the long-term goal. I think for the moment, though, if you look at the disproportionate revenue, then it is quite a big gap. If you look at Women's Super League, where we've made great strides, but we're still only about 0.5% of the annual revenue of the Premier League. So there's still a job to do in terms of the revenue coming in, and then obviously that allows you to then pay more. Everyone's investing ahead of revenue, and that's the right thing to do. It's a big growth part of the game, but there's still more to do to grow the commercial pie.
The FA have invested a lot in places like St George's Park, has provided a talent pathway into the game, but of course pay is still not there. It's for the sponsors to step up. FIFA, for the first time, have guaranteed a minimum pay for players that will be filtered through the federations. It means that just by reaching the final, each England player will receive at least £150,000. If they go and win the trophy, £210,000 they're all going to be getting. And in some cases, that can be more than they're earning a year at their clubs, unlike in the men's game where that can be a weekly salary.
Well, thanks very much indeed. I don't think anybody would begrudge them a bonus, whatever it is, if they were to lift that World Cup next Sunday. It certainly has been a very hectic 24 hours here for the Lionesses and for all of us, but what a brilliant 24 hours, Anna.
An extraordinary 24 hours. Jackie, thanks very much indeed. We just want to bring you some breaking news. In the last few minutes, the BBC has announced that the broadcaster synonymous with the BBC for many years and chat show host Sir Michael Parkinson has died. The BBC has cited a family statement when making this announcement. Michael Parkinson was 88 years old. He was so well known as one of the key broadcasters and interviewers of his generation. His show Parkinson ran for many years. It started in the early 70s, it ran to the early 80s, and then it was revived years later, appearing on the BBC as well as ITV as well. And he interviewed many of the biggest stars of the entertainment world of his generation. He had an extraordinary contribution to broadcasting, and he'll be remembered as one of the finest hosts in British television history. Known affectionately, of course, as Parky, he interviewed more than 2,000 of the world's biggest stars. Our arts and entertainment correspondent Katie Spencer has been reflecting on his career.
A beloved fixture on British TV for over 50 years, Sir Michael Parkinson's talk shows set a benchmark against which others are still measured. From John Wayne to Fred Astaire, John Lennon to Madonna. Known to many just as Parky, he helped viewers see the human side to their heroes.
Don't point at me. Sorry.
From frosty encounters with Muhammad Ali.
Oh, no, joking. You're joking. That's good.
To flirty conversations with cinematic icons like Lauren Bacall.
All the best men are taken, so forget it.
His enthusiasm infectious, his reactions real. While the warmth of his avuncular Yorkshire style stood out, as an interviewer he came from a place of solid journalistic grounding. The proud son and grandson of miners from Barnsley, he grafted to make a name for himself. Starting out in local newspapers before a move to Granada TV in Manchester, until in the early 70s the BBC came calling. It was the making of him. Instantly he had the ability to put guests at ease. Instead of showboating, he gave space. Getting the best from those who could be tricky by allowing conversations to breathe.
I'm sorry, is this too long, this story?
No. I'll let you. You know by when I drop like that, that's the moment.
Will you start drooling on your tie?
Not for different reasons, Madonna.
No, but...
Of course, it wasn't always smooth sailing. He regretted losing his cool with a somewhat fragile Meg Ryan.
Now that you're wary of journalists, I mean, does it give you an insight into what they're after?
Now that I'm wary of them...
Yes, you are wary of journalists. You're wary of me. You're wary of the interview. You don't like being interviewed. You can see it in the way that you sit, in the way you are. That you don't like doing it.
And of course, some encounters were wilder than others. This chat show was revived not once, but twice. After a 16-year break in 1998, returning first to the BBC, age bringing a fatherly warmth.
You sound like my dad, you said. He's really off-putting, Carl. I won't look at you. All right. I will, actually, because he was a good man.
And again in 2007, moving to ITV, the biggest names wanting to be interviewed by the best. In 2008, Sir Michael Parkinson was knighted for his immense contribution to broadcasting. In over 800 episodes, interviewing more than 2,000 of the world's biggest stars, he became a household name in the process. Unashamedly forthright, journalistically sharp, engaging and warm.
You have such deep blue eyes.
Yes, and you have bedroom eyes.
The proud Barnsley boy will be remembered as one of the finest talk show hosts in the history of British television. Katie Spencer, Sky News.
So that breaking news in the last few minutes, the news that the British broadcaster Michael Parkinson, best known for interviewing some of the world's biggest stars on his long-running chat show, has died aged 88. This is the BBC who announced this news in the last few minutes. They cited a statement from his family. Let me just tell you some of what that statement said. They say, after a brief illness, Sir Michael Parkinson passed away peacefully at home last night in the company of his family. And they go on to say that the family requests that they're given privacy and time to grieve. So an extraordinary figure in the world of broadcasting, but also in the world of entertainment as well. Michael Parkinson, known for his Saturday night shows where he had the biggest stars in the entertainment industry every week, visiting his studio. It ran all the way through the 70s, from 1971 it ran all the way through to 1982, and then it was revived again in the late 90s, and he did more shows then and really did interview the biggest stars of his generation. And as we heard in that report there, he had his own style and often got some extraordinary revelations from his guests that came on the programme. I'm just being told as well that we do have a statement from his agent as well. Let me just try and find that for you. But I can tell you that in the meantime, that some of the stars that actually passed through his studio, Jimmy Cagney in the early days, Fred Astaire, Lauren Bacall, Ingrid Bergman, which just gives you an idea of the scale of the stardom that went through the studio up until the present day, and more familiar faces of the last few years. His agent has said in the last few minutes, after a brief illness, Sir Michael Parkinson passed away peacefully at home last night in the company of his family. The family requests that they're given privacy and time to grieve. So there's an acknowledgement from his agent of the passing of Sir Michael Parkinson, and asking that the family, in the meantime, are given privacy. No doubt we will have plenty of reaction to that news throughout the day. A much-loved figure from broadcasting, Sir Michael Parkinson, has died. In the meantime, though, let's get more on those A-level results out this morning and the warning of lower marks, particularly in England, to try to get back to pre-pandemic levels. There's been a 9.2% drop in the number of top grades awarded compared to last year. The figure remains higher, though, than in 2019. England has brought down grades much faster than other nations, with top grades at 27% as opposed to 38% in Northern Ireland. That regional divide is also widening. Students in London and the South East achieved the highest share of top grades than those in the North East. The number of modern language students has fallen by 8% compared to last year, with computing, maths and science subjects remaining popular. Well, let's get some reaction to the latest figures. I'm joined now by the Education Minister, Robert Halfon, who's in Cheltenham for us this morning. Very good morning to you, Robert Halfon. What do you make of these latest figures? The proportion of A-level entries awarded top grades is down on last year as expected, however higher than pre-pandemic levels. Do you feel that is what you would have expected?
First thing it's important to do is to say huge congratulations to all the students who've got their results, who are going to universities and colleges up and down our country. It's an incredible achievement, and thank the teachers and support staff as well. But it is good news today. Over 90% of students who have got their results are getting their first or second choice of university. And secondly, for those students who didn't, there are a wealth of other options to choose from. There's over 29,000 clearing places provided by UCAS, which is where I am at the moment. There's also degree apprenticeships. We've got 100 odd higher technical qualifications that students can do in colleges up and down the country. And they're not just degree apprenticeships, but there are apprenticeships in all levels, from aeronautical to zoology, over 650 different professions. And the other good news, of course, is we've got a brand new vocational qualification T-levels, the first year that it's been all exams, and over 90% of students who've done this qualification, this high-tech, high-important skill qualification to the T-levels, have over 90% have passed.
Well, what's your message, though, to those who'll be feeling disappointed because of the deliberate grade deflation that's been going on, particularly in England? The decision was taken to mark more harshly in England than in Wales and Northern Ireland. What's your message to those students who'll be feeling disappointed by that?
The first thing I'd say, of course, that we need to go back to a proper exam system. UCAS say that it's what students prefer. That's what their surveys have told them. We have to go back to the system that existed before COVID. Employers value quality qualifications. It's important those qualifications hold their value. And also, there have been protections built into the system because of COVID. So, for example, a student getting a B in geography in 2019 will get a B in geography in 2023. So those protections are important. But the second thing I'd say to those students who may not have got the grades that they expected is that there are a wealth of other options. I mentioned the 29,000 clearing places. I've mentioned the degree apprenticeships, the other apprenticeship offerings that they have, the higher technical qualifications. And if they speak to UCAS or the National Careers Service, they can get some very good advice about the options available to them. And previous experience, again going back to 2019, suggests that a huge majority of students who didn't get their expected grades actually get to universities in the clearing process that they want to go to.
But England made the decision to return to pre-pandemic levels of grading faster than Wales and Northern Ireland. Do you have some sympathy for the students from England who feel that they've been treated more harshly? And the results bear it out. The percentage of A and A-star grades in England is lower than in Wales and Northern Ireland.
I think that you're comparing apples with pears, because Scotland and Wales and Northern Ireland have different educational systems, different curriculum, different exam systems, different kind of exams as well. And this was a decision made by Ofqual. They're an independent regulator. They understand the need that we need to move back to exams. It's what students want to happen. We need to make sure that the qualifications hold their value. It's what employers want as well. And as I say, over 90% of students who've got their results have got their first or second choice, and there's 29,000 places for clearance. So students will be able to go to university or do some of the other options that I've mentioned, particularly a degree apprenticeships or the 8,000 apprenticeships on offer on the UCAS website.
This cohort was particularly badly hit by the pandemic, weren't they? They couldn't sit their GCSEs, they would have missed out on education at a key time. They've also been hit by the cost of living crisis. Those in less well-off homes may not have had the same kind of access to technology or support that their better-off peers have done. Some are talking about this being the unluckiest cohort in years. Do you agree with that?
Well, I absolutely accept there are huge challenges for young people, in fact, all ages across our country, and the pandemic was clearly had huge effects on everyone, whether it was their mental health or educational attainment, their life chances. And this is why we've Ofqual have done what they've done in terms of moving back to the system we had before COVID. The results are similar to 2019. Over 90% of students who've had results are getting into their first or second choice. That's incredibly important. And we've got a wealth of other opportunities available for those students. So whilst absolutely students are facing huge challenges, there are incredible opportunities available for them in skills, in higher education, just to climb up that ladder of opportunity to get the jobs and security and prosperity that they want.
Okay, Robert Halford, we appreciate your time this morning. Thanks so much for joining us. You're watching Sky News Today. Do stay with us. Coming up, why Donald Trump could be in court just a day before a key date in the race for the White House.
It's so terrifying what's going on now. But in the summer of 2021, while the fires were happening in Evia, I was pregnant. I was 3 months pregnant at the time. And I wanted to go to Greece to learn as much as I could about the wildfires and speak to people and understand what they'd been going through. And I guess I write stories because, you know, sometimes the news coverage can be so overwhelming that it can desensitize us. So what I wanted to do was paint a picture through writing of what is happening now, to highlight what people are feeling and going through in these places where they're losing loved ones, being displaced by fires, losing their homes, losing so much, the beautiful forests being completely burnt. But I went to Muddy in 2021. The fires had happened 3 years before that. While I was there, the fires were raging in Evia. And so I was seeing the news coverage of what was happening in Evia, and at the same time I was speaking to people who were trying to heal. And there's many ways. So they found a cafe that had survived the fire, and it became a cafe for survivors, and they built friendships there and told stories there and developed ways to survive and to find ways of keeping hope in their hearts. So I came across a word while I was researching. It's a very beautiful word, solastalgia, which is basically the grief we feel at the loss of our environment. And I think we don't realise how devastating that can be. So when I was in Muddy, for example, a man took me around and he explained to me what the beautiful forest looked like before, and I could see what it looked like right there and there in front of me. And it was absolutely traumatising. For me, I didn't feel the grief, obviously. I saw it in this man's eyes. It wasn't my land, it wasn't somewhere that I knew before the fire, but I could sense in him how sad and how much he was still mourning for the loss of not only his loved ones and his home, but the environment around him too.
Let's just remind you of our breaking news in the last few minutes. The BBC has announced that the broadcaster and chat show host Michael Parkinson has died. And in the last few minutes, we've got reaction from the Director General of the BBC, who's paid tribute to Sir Michael Parkinson as the king of the chat show and an incredible broadcaster and journalist. Tim Davies put out a statement saying that he was the king of the chat show and saying he defined the format for all the presenters and shows that followed. He interviewed the biggest stars of the 20th century and did so in a way that enthralled the public. Michael was not only brilliant at asking questions, he was also a wonderful listener. Michael was truly one of a kind, an incredible broadcaster and journalist who will be hugely missed. And we heard earlier from Sir Michael's family confirming that he had died, saying after a brief illness, Sir Michael Parkinson passed away peacefully at home last night in the company of his family. The family requests that they're given privacy and time to grieve. And he interviewed some of the most extraordinary names in the business, from the likes of Fred Astaire and Lauren Bacall back in the day to more recently sporting stars, Meg Ryan, extraordinary scenes with Rod Hull famously and the puppet Emu, but also Muhammad Ali, David Beckham, John Lennon, Celine Dion, David Bowie, the most extraordinary list of stars. There's the scene with Rod Hull famously giving Michael Parkinson a very tricky time of it, which he managed to carry off pretty smoothly. So the sad news that this extraordinary broadcaster, called by the Director General of the BBC today the king of the chat show, has died. To the US now, where prosecutors in Georgia have requested that former President Donald Trump face trial on the 4th of March next year. Now, if approved, it means that the trial would start a day before a key date in the calendar for the Republican race for the White House. Our correspondent Mark Stone is in Washington and can tell us more.
Well, it is absolutely clear now that Donald Trump will spend the time ahead of next November's presidential election shuttling between the campaign trail and the courtroom. But, you know, maybe he thinks that's not a problem, because every time he's indicted, it's 4 of them now, his polling goes up. For him, the courtroom is part of the campaign trail. So the new dates we now have are March the 4th next year, when prosecutors in Georgia, the latest indictment, want the trial there to begin. That's against him and a cast of conspirators, and that's a day before Super Tuesday, when Republican primaries take place in states across the country. The second date we now have is the week of September the 5th this year, in just a few weeks, when the arraignment in the Georgia case must take place. That's when he should appear in the Atlanta courthouse to answer the charge that he conspired to overturn the result of the election there. But the most immediate date is even closer than that. By the end of next week, he must surrender to a county jail in Atlanta to be booked, fingerprinted and photographed. He claims it's all part of a massive political witch hunt. The prosecution here says the case against him is compelling.
Let's check on the weather now.
Warm memories wherever you go. The weather.
Windy conditions for a time. It'll also become very warm and muggy. This morning, low cloud over eastern counties will thin and break, although eastern Scotland may remain rather dull. Elsewhere, it'll be mostly fine with some good sunny spells, especially in the west. It'll be a warm day for most, with temperatures widely exceeding 20 degrees Celsius and a potential high of 27. A freshening breeze will make North Sea coast seem a little cooler. There'll be a few light isolated showers over the UK mainland, but rain will arrive over southwestern Ireland by early evening.
The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.
You're watching Sky News. Do stay with us. Coming up, we'll get more on those A-level results. I'll be joined by the Managing Director of UCAS next.
SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohinya, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. Of darkness.
So what did that
myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on The CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Broadcasting live. Turn it up.
Body is your man. Bekutu, show them you got the cocoa set. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Harry Song, aka Mr. Songs. This is the Kingmaker Baba for the girls. We're here. This is Starr Radio. Don't go nowhere. UK, London. We call them London for home. For here, we call them London. And I sabi you know, just have fun and stay blessed.
Online, on mobile, and soon on DAB. This is Starr Radio UK, the leading Afro-Caribbean radio station in London.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Starr Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Hey, this is Archie and you are listening to Starr Radio UK and The Morning Show.
This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Welcome.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio. Starr Radio. Radio for the people, by the people.
Love for you runs deep. All of you makes my heart beat. You make the doubt they fade, Jesus, and that's what makes you great. You hold the world in your hands, the hand that made me who I am. Same God now, yesterday, and forevermore. And that's what makes you great. You are God. You will never change. You remain the same till the end. Till the end. You are God. One who took my pain, took away my shame. Lord, you reign. That's why forever call you great.
Okay, let me say massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you may be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. Want to salute each and every one of you, the discovered and undiscovered ones as well, you know.
You Lord, great are you.
Today is Thursday, the 17th day of August, the year 2023, time 10:46 from the House of London. And of course, it is a Thursday morning show. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. But I remain yours sincerely, the one and only.
This is the morning show with Archie.
And that's what makes you great. You are God.
From now till 12 o'clock, I'm going to be your captain. I'm going to make sure I bring you everything that you need to know. From archaeology to zoology, from Accra to Zanzibar, I say it all the time, it's making the headlines. My goodness, I'm going to be touching on it. But I'm saying good morning to my team. Mr. Francis Guy, my able producer. And then you know what? My brother and White Lion, Mr. Olaimi Koiki on holidays, is chilling out. Yummy. Haha. You come, you give me a rundown, man. Yes, and to you, wherever you might be this day, whatever you might be doing or involved in, I wish you all the best. Let's say good morning to my brother Felix all the way in Aberdeen. Kojo D, good morning. Mr. Danterbury, CEO of GIL Accountancy Services. Kofi Ali, good morning. Mr. Kedi Olsen. And Dr. Martin, good morning to you. My brother Kwame, good morning. And to all the way, South Africa, Cape Town, to be specific, Mr. Eminence Hammond, Chantel, and all you guys there, good morning to you. My Bishop himself, Bishop Adeshina, massive good morning to you, sir. And all the team and colleagues at the RBS office in Lagos, Nigeria. Anjana Nidaji, all the way in the USA, good morning to you. I say good morning to you. Olakunle, good morning. Well, you are good morning. So Maxwell, I hope you are doing very, very well. I hope your holidays are going well too. Shamsuddin, good morning to you. Okay, so let me put it this way. Our protocol observed, and welcome to the Thursday edition of the morning show.
Archie on Starr Radio. Nobody does it better.
Okay, let's crack on. Well, as I said, this whole week we're finishing program at 12 o'clock instead of 12:30 that we've been for the past few months because of the summer holidays, and my colleague Mr. Olaimi Koiki is away, so it gives the technical team the time for them to do all the necessary fine-tuning things that they will want to do to say that, look, you guys, just leave us and let's do it. But they said, you know what? Come in, works for some time, and then we take over from there. And when they take over, that's when they bring you all the music that you need to know. That is more music and less talk. Oh well, so if it's the first time of tuning in on the Thursday edition of the morning show on this special once, this is how the program is going to go. I'm going to bring you the quote for the day, the weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel update as well. We'll move on from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. It's known as global trotting. Then after that, at 11 o'clock, we bring you updates from Nigeria. We'll move on from there to also have a look at some of the stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. At 11:30, the lines are open for you to add your voice to the discussion if need be. However, if before then you want to post your comments, feel free. Put it on our Facebook page, YouTube chat page, or on all the other platforms that we are broadcasting on. Then at 12 o'clock, the curtains are brought down for the end of the program. By Gist. That is what is going to happen today. So once again, welcome on board, welcome on board, welcome on board. Edith Morrison saying that, yes, what makes you great? What makes you great is you being with us, and we loving to be with you as well. Okay. So the quote of the day says, to say success is by luck is to agree that you can achieve your goals by chance and not by deliberate, conscious design and effort. So don't sit on your blessed assurance and put your hands in your labata and tie and then just sit down and say, now I'm waiting. Yeah, man. No. Get up, stand up, do something, and I can tell you the rest, God will see to it for you. Well, this morning has been a bit, do I call it a bit warm, or, yeah, last night was not as cold as it has been for the past few days. But let's see what is happening here in London and the southeast of England. It was sunny when I was leaving home, though. So today we'll continue dry and largely sunny, and it will be a warmer day. A few light patches of cloud may still drift in at times. However, gentle easterly winds expected. Tonight is expected to remain dry and largely clear for a time, but an area of cloud will move in from the southwest overnight, becoming breezy with fresh wind. Total temperature is going to be 24 degrees, the lowest is going to be 16 degrees, pollen level is going to be high, UV level is going to be high, and pollution is going to be low. Sunset 2020 and sunrise for tomorrow morning is 05:48 hours. That brings us to the end of the weather forecast. All coming your way from Starr Radio UK. Don't you worry, there are breaking news that I'll be bringing your way in the next most few minutes. Take a quick break. We come back and I bring you the travel updates. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email and phone number. That's it, you're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, so keep your eyes on the roads, So as we keep you navigated, I promise I'll on the Starr Radio UK travel up there country where we will get from 10:40. So 10:53 now. What is happening on your travels this morning? Well, those of you traveling on the major roads in London, apart from the central London red roads that's got serious delays, all the others have got no exceptional delays that you can zoom through it like no man business. And when it comes to the underground, Jubilee line and Bakerloo line has got severe delays and path closures respectively, and then London overground path closures. That aside, all the others have got good service. But keep your eyes on the roads, keep your eyes on the roads, also keep your navigator on the riverbank this morning. The Woolwich Ferry has still got planned closures. That aside, all the others have got good service. Now the landing cable car is running a good service this morning, and that brings us to the final segment of the travel update. That is the National Rail. So on the National Rail this morning, Greater Anglia is suffering minor delays. That aside, all the others, good service there. So on that note, as I would do say all the time, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today. But you know what? As I would say once again, keep your eyes on the roads and enjoy your commute for today. Bye bye for now.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Yo, what's up, people? This is a boy Raskin Bobo One. Tune in every day, every night at the Starr Radio UK with the big man them Archie. When I say Orta, you say fire.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I'm bringing the time now to 3 minutes to the top of the hour. That's 3 minutes to 11. And that means that we got a lot to do, but don't you worry, I have still selected a very nice tune that I'm going to be sharing with you from my latest artist. I call him Kofi Boham. Okay, his songs are very lovely, yeah. Okay, so I'll be bringing one to you after I've brought you everything that you need to know pertaining to what is happening across the world. Now, NNPC Limited moves to save Naira and secure 3 billion emergency crude repayment loan from Afrexim Bank. So, secure 3 billion emergency crude repayment. Okay, so is it in arrears or is it in advance? Now, DSS warns of impending terrorist attack on Abuja, Kaduna. Train is another story that is making the rounds this morning that we're going to be looking at in the next few moments. And then Tinubu moves to remove bottlenecks to ease business operations. Well, if he's able to crack down on that, I mean, that would be a good one, because it becomes like it's only the party that's in power whose supporters or members are benefiting. But if it will be across board, anybody who wants to do business, so far as you are doing a genuine business that is lucrative, why not? Okay, so that is a good one there. Nigeria earns $742 billion oil revenue in 21 years. How many of that was part of what do you call him? Abacha's stolen money? Oh, yes. Okay. A resident of oil-rich states suffering heavy metal poisoning, Siriaki Dixon, raises alarm. And the question that I've been asking myself is, if these people are living in that particular environment, their lands, that is now being sacrificed for the whole of the country, and they are not being taken care of, well taken care of, so that at least you know that the sacrifices that you are making, the farmlands that have been taken from you because of everything, you still at least are living a life some way somehow better off. Do you think that people will not just sacrifice for that? But when upon everything that is going on, they are not seeing any improvement in their lives, and their situation is getting worse off each day, then what do you think they have to do? The NNPC 3 billion loan pushes Nigeria debt to 52.2 trillion naira, as article knocks tip. Okay, so one of the stories making the rounds there as well. And then moving on straight now, Tinubu, Jonathan, Mark Ogbeha, Bago, Obaseki rejoice with Babangida on the 82nd birthday. And CBN policy may force Education Trust Fund to suspend foreign scholarships to Nigeria. Now, foreign scholarships to Nigeria, do we want to say that Nigeria cannot afford to cater for its students or offer them scholarship to go and study abroad? Well, opposition parties seeking merger with APC, Ganduje is saying, is it opportunists or what are they trying to do? We won't be deterred by propaganda from terrorists, NAF is also saying. Okay, so this and a lot more going to be coming your way from there. That's from updates from Nigeria. It's all coming your way. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Sudanese artists paint wartime emotions to protest Sudan's war. Sudanese artists who escaped the conflict in Khartoum present an art exhibition in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, as part of his reflection on what is going on in his part of the world. South Africa's Catholic Church files class action suit against mining firms. The Catholic Church said on Wednesday it is shepherding a class action against mining companies in South Africa on behalf of coal miners. Okay, let's see what happens from there. And in Nigeria, Niamey residents support call for mass recruitment of volunteers into army. And Zimbabwe ready to conduct harmonized elections, Electoral Commission is saying. Well, have they released the people who were the opposition members who were captured or arrested a couple of over the weekend or a couple of days ago? What has happened to them? DRC, U.S. sanctions against the former head of the Institute for the Protection of Nature. So one story is making the rounds. Now, when it comes to Ghana as well, let's try to see whether we can capture one other story from Ghana as well. And this is around scandal. Bank of Ghana headquarters contract bloated. Contractor unregistered company Ablakwa alleges. Ablakwa seems to be going around sniffing and discovering a lot of things there. The ECOWAS military chiefs to meet in Accra today over Nigeria crisis. I bet they should have their hats on, not just have their hats on their shoulders where they'll just take knee-jerk reactions. Now, GSS to build online business register by February 2024, and troubles at GACR resurrect as union leaders warn Paul Adom Ochre. Okay, and don't glorify violence against journalists. Ahmed Swale family to media. Some stories making the rounds there, and I'll be bringing you more on that during the time we are bringing all the details. In other parts of the world as well, more than 60 migrants feared death in Atlantic. Almost all of those on the boat, which was at sea for over a month, are thought to have been from Senegal. Bernstein family defend Cooper over nose row. The trailer for a new film attracts criticism from some who say it plays up to Jewish stereotypes. Now, when we are acting, when I'm saying I'm acting, I remember back in the day I was doing some acting, but I didn't take it as a profession. Okay, so in school I was doing acting. I was very good there. Yes, let me praise myself there. Okay, and I play the role that I'm playing. I'm not that kind, but I come and play a role. Okay, try to, let me put it this way, mimic how the person in the character is supposed to be. So at times you dress yourself some way. So when things like that happen and people just go on, it is acting. It is acting. acting. Back in the day when the actors and actresses or film producers didn't think that blacks were good enough to play roles, they do paint the white people, they do paint them black and then they play those roles. So what about that? I think it's about time that some things that are menial like that, we just get out of it and just move on. I don't know, but mob burns Pakistan churches over blasphemy claims. Here we go again. Now that thousands took to the street over accusations that 2 Christian men had desecrated the Quran. If your God is powerful, let your God fight for himself and stop all that thing that people go on doing. Okay, radioactive material found in Sydney home. Now roads were sealed off in Enclave after discovery of low-level isotopes during a search. And a race to evacuate Canadian city as wildfire nears. Officials fear the fire could reach Yellowknife in the Northwest territories by the weekend. A Texas woman arrested after threats to Trump judge. The 43-year-old allegedly uses a slur against Judge Jackson and warns, "You are in our sights." Well, so those threats, because it's not Trump. If it's not a good thing, my mom will always tell you, who would say take your good thing and shove it? No, they take your nonsense and shove it. All right, so that same thing. Now Britney Spears and Sam Asghari splits. That's what a report is saying. The couple married in June 2022, soon after the termination of the pop star's conservatorship. Now, so somebody will say, if she is in a good frame of mind, do you think that there will be this quickly just crashing out of whatever is happening? Well. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. The Saudi Crown Prince have been invited to the UK. A source has said the visit, which is not yet confirmed, will be the first since the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. And a memorable moment from Parkinson started. Chat show host Sir Michael Parkinson has died aged 88. He was one of British TV's biggest names with a long-running started Saturday night chat show. Okay, a man released in PSNI data breach investigation. Police say the arrest was made by detective investigating criminality linked to the breach. Okay, and finally, England versus Australia watched by 7 million on BBC TV. Well, we were watching it. We were and applause to them. They did well, holding on there till the end of the game, where they managed to beat them 3-1, and I say kudos to them. But now let's take a musical break. We come back and we'll be looking at some of the stories making the rounds from Nigeria. 7 minutes past the top of the hour. This is from Kofi Boham, and it says Broken Pencils. So enjoy it, listen to it very well. The lyrics very thoughtful, and it will encourage you, and very encouraging. Let me put it that way. Enjoy.
Alright. This is a letter to the broken.
This is Starr Radio.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Best music.
I see you fighting all the demons in your life that have wreaked heavy carnage. Don't be dismayed. I know you think that your dreams and everything that you hope for seem to be late. Looks like your problems don't seem to go nowhere. Just take a deep breath. People talk about you, it's got you feeling down and really stressed. Don't tell me you don't know the trouble that I've been going through. You self don't know, see the same thing they go through. Me self, I they go through too. Who told you the lie? When you fall, it's the end of your life. I heard a whisper from above. I pray it opens up your eyes. Broken pencils still write, so keep on writing and life is not fair. Greed is all we see. You gave your heart to the wrong folk, they broke it, and now you put it on free. Fake life on Instagram and Snapchat got you feeling ungrateful. My sister, if you could see the real them, you know you are being a great fool. You wrote a paper and failed. Sit down and write it again.
This is Starr Radio UK.
You broke your heart and you cried.
Are you ready to turn it up?
True love, real love. I'm not trying to look down on your problems. No, 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 no. I know say you don't know how to sabi solve them. Allow me to introduce you to someone I know. He's a specialist in handling cases and issues we don't blow. If you fell, just rise. If you fell, just rise. If you fell, just rise. Wipe the tears from your eyes. If you fell, just rise. If you fell, just rise. Wipe the tears from your eyes. If you fell, just rise. If you fell, just rise. Wipe the tears from your eyes. If you fell, just rise. If you fell, just rise. Wipe the tears from your eyes. Broken pencils to rise. Keep on writing, fallen soldiers to rise. Keep on fighting, yeah. One day you lift up your eyes to the skies and your light will be shining, yeah. One day your wedding bells will ring.
Of course, one day you will win. Broken pencils to write, so keep on writing. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up, don't give in. Don't throw in the towel. God is not finished with you yet. Why be going through some challenges somewhere, somehow you think that, oh, it's only me, it's only me. Maybe someone is going through worse of time than you. But you know what? I'm here to encourage you. Somebody made it, you can also make it. So keep on keeping on.
I know say you know
Coffee Bohams. Yeah. Broken pencil. For the broken. If you feel broken, one of the music that you have to be listening to. It's a good one there. And I recommend it. I do my best to see whether one of these days I will get him on air just to interview him. How he wrote that music.
You fell, just rise.
But I've fallen in love with it. What about that? Alright then, Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, I'll be bringing you the rest of that music in a moment, but wherever you are, it is now time for us to go to Nigeria, because you know the program is finishing exactly at 12 o'clock, and therefore, what do? We make sure that we bring you everything that you need to know pertaining to what is happening from Niger, my other country. Okay. Okay, so let's start it from here. Interestingly, I'll bring that one as the last one. Trending 3-type vehicle. The FRSC orders immediate clampdown on rickety vehicles nationwide. Yeah, how can a 3-type vehicle move on the road? Did the tire come off and the person didn't see, or what exactly? Do we even respect the lives of our people? Do we cherish it at all? Okay, let's move on. The NNPC Limited moves to save Naira and secures 3 billion emergency crude repayment loan from Afrexim Bank. And that has pushed Nigeria's debt higher. Well, I'll be telling you more about that. Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPC Limited, and Afrexim Bank have jointly signed a commitment letter and term sheet for an emergency $3 billion crude oil repayment loan. The signing took place on Wednesday in the bank headquarters in Cairo, Egypt, according to a statement by the NNPC Limited. The news agency of Nigeria reports that the deal will cushion the effects of fuel price jump and scarcity of forex associated with the free float of the naira, in line with President Bola Tinubu's promise of harmonizing the various exchange rates. The naira float had seen the currency plunge from below 500 naira per dollar on the official exchange windows to record low of about 900 naira per dollar. Now, petrol now sells at 617 naira from the first increment of 540 per liter since May 2029, when Tinubu announced that fuel subsidy was gone. Now, oil marketers in several reports said there might be another round of pump price increase as crude price further increase in the international market. On Monday, the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) reports that Nigeria's consumer price index rose to 24.08% in July from 22.41% recorded in June 2023. On this background, the NNPC Limited in the statement explained that the emergency $3 billion crude oil repayment loan will provide some immediate disbursement. It said the disbursement will enable the NNPC Limited to support the federal government in its ongoing fiscal and monetary policy reforms aimed at stabilizing the exchange rate market. Tinubu had on Tuesday assured Nigerians that there will be no further increase in the pump price of petrol in spite of the fuel subsidy removal. The president's reaction through his special advisor in media and publicity, Ajori Ngalale, to journalists in Abuja followed the announcement by the NNPC Limited that there will be no increase in the pump price of petrol anywhere in the country. Mr. Tinubu, who acknowledged that there were inefficiencies within the downstream sector contributing to the fuel price controversy, however, assured the loopholes associated with the smooth delivery of petroleum products will be addressed without delay. Labor unions had also threatened to embark on strike any moment. So let's see what is going to happen on that front. Okay. Now, also bringing you something from the presidency. Now, President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday in Abuja assured investors that his ongoing repositioning of the economy will receive a boost as he conducts an intensified removal of all bottlenecks in the way of efficient business, startup and administration in Nigeria, with a particular emphasis on efficiency in service, tax reviews and improved security. Now, receiving Mr. Adeola, Managing Director of Energy and Natural Resources in Europe, Africa and Middle East for Standard Chartered Bank, President Tinubu said his administration was already working hard on making a difference in attracting investment. He was further to say in the quote, "We are committed to strengthening partnership, encouraging efficiency and creating a suitable environment for investors. We are already working hard on security. We will improve efficiency across the board for good input and output, and we will build a very friendly environment for growth and investment," he said. The president told the delegation that tax reforms are being undertaken with a close observance of best practices across the globe, which will favor businesses for collective prosperity of the nation. It is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We will continue with some more stories making the rounds across board, so stay tuned, don't you go away at all. Well, the DSS is warning of an impending terrorist attack on Abuja-Kaduna train. Once again, the Department of State Services has issued a security alert over a grand plot by bandits to attack the Abuja-Kaduna train service anytime from now. Recall that an Abuja-Kaduna bound train was attacked in Katari Village, Kaduna on March 28, 2022, prompting the Nigerian Railway Corporation to briefly halt operations along the route. In a leaked letter signed by DSS Director of FCT, Command, they are Adepebu, entitled Security Alert, Impending Threat by a Coalition of Banditry Syndicates to attack Abuja-Kaduna train services along the AKTS corridor. The DSS cautioned train passengers to be extra vigilant. Now, what can train passengers do? Because the moment you board the train, you are on. And all that is happening is that you are at the mercy of the one who, the train driver, and again, the rail tracks, if they've not been tampered with. So DSS warned of an impending threat to seamless train transportation along Abuja-Kaduna train services. The secret memo stated that the coalition of banditry syndicate was plotting to attack the Abuja-Kaduna train aimed at kidnapping passengers on board for ransom any moment from now. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Air Force High Command has said it will not give in to propaganda by terrorist group. NAF was reacting to a video shared by terrorist group in Niger State claiming to have shot down the NAF helicopter. Now, spokesman for the Air Force, Air Commodore Edward Backwet, said while it is not in the character of NAF to respond to such claims, particularly one peddled by the terrorists, concerns expressed by well-meaning Nigerians on the need to address the propaganda becomes imperative. Now, like all military organizations involved in counter-insurgency and counter-terrorism operation, incidents of fatalities, mishaps, and crashes are sometimes inevitable. Now, with heightened levels of air operations occasioned by an enhanced fleet, the likelihood of air mishaps and accidents at times become unavoidable and inevitable due to various reasons. Indeed, the chief of the air staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, said this March when he hosted Governor Umaru Bago of Niger State yesterday, according August 15, 2023, at his office, where he noted that the rates of aircraft incidences are directly proportional to the heightened level of air oppression. So coming your way from Star Radio UK. So what would they do? Are they going to get some helicopters or some security personnel patrolling the routes before the trains pass by? Would that be the way to give people the assurance? Because especially you look at the roads, and to travel on the roads that are not roadworthy. I mean, looking at the vehicles that are plying the roads, which I said I'll bring you the last one as the last story from Nigeria this morning. You ask yourself the question: the rail becomes the only affordable one that people can travel on, and if now terrorists are also using that, or kidnappers are using that, or banditry are using it to sort of what word should I even use? Kidnap people for ransom, then we are in big trouble there. But let's see what is happening there. So come your way. It is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Nigeria earned $741.5 billion and 635.3 billion naira from the oil, gas, and solid mineral sector, respectively, between 1999 and 2020. A period of about 21 years. The Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative announced on Wednesday. The NIT Executive Secretary Ogbonaya Archie announced this at the stakeholders roundtable organized by the agency in Abuja for the review and approval of NIT 2021 audit report for the oil, gas, and solid mineral sectors. Now, it goes on to say the latest audit report was submitted to the agency by the independent administrators, Messrs. Taju Audu and Co. and Amedu Onekpa and Co. In his address at the event, Oji said, so far, NETI has conducted a total of 13 cycles of reconciliatory reports in the oil and gas sector and 11 cycles of reports in the solid mineral sector. These reports have disclosed a total revenue earnings to the government of $741.48 billion from the oil and gas sector and 635.3 billion naira from the solid mineral sector. Now, these earnings were between the years 1999 to 2020 oil and gas, and 2020 and 6 to 2020 solid mineral sector earnings. In addition, Niger reports have disclosed that Nigeria lost over 619.7 million barrels of crude oil value at $46.16 billion or 16.25 trillion naira from 2009 to 2020 from theft and sabotage. Interesting, isn't it? But what can we account for that money? What has it been used for? What has it been used for? It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I see stories like that and I am saddened. But the chairman, Senate Committee on Ecology and Climate Change, Senator Seriake Dixon of the PDP Bayelsa West, has raised the alarm that many residents of the oil-rich state and the Niger Delta region are suffering from heavy metal poisoning. That has urged state governors to adopt urgent measures to curtail the dangerous trends. Now, speaking yesterday in Abuja, the Global Initiative for Climate and Environmental Sustenance conferred on him on an Excellence in Environmental Leadership Award 2023, the former governor of Bayelsa State, who blamed the development on the activities of the various multinational oil companies in the region, explained that the committee he constituted as governor then took samples of blood of residents of the oil producing areas, and it was disturbing that at the end of the laboratory test, the results showed that there were heavy metal poisoning in their bodies. The award was presented by Comrade Celestine Okodele, who represented Mrs. Eni Obi of Action Aid at the event. The coalition said that the award was conferred on the senator for his contribution and stewardship in sustaining a healthy environment while serving as governor of Bayelsa State between 2019 and 2020. Now we talk about the fact that we talk about Shell, we talk about Mobil, we talk about all the various oil companies and the profits that they are making. But do you think that if they are dredging oil in this part of the world, the government will allow them to do what they are doing so that their people, the indigents or those who are living in the particular area will suffer such? But it's so sad when I see stories like that, and I ask myself the question: when our people, why our leaders go sit down by tables and negotiate, what do they actually negotiate? Are they there to serve our interests, or as usual serve themselves, their pockets, their cronies, and of course their dogs? Well, sad story there. I look at it and I ask myself the question: what kind of world do we actually live in? It is Starr Radio UK. This is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, Archie is fuming as the NNPC secures 3 billion loan to stabilize Nigeria's naira debt, and that's called Nigeria's debt to hit $49.8 trillion. Now, the new procured NNPC crude oil swap, a 3 billion loan from Afrexim Bank, has ballooned Nigeria's debt profile. The NNPC said it took the loan to stabilize the volatile foreign exchange market, but as ex-Vice President Atiku Abubakar aide Frank Shaibu has knocked the NNPC over the loan and supposedly as usurping CBN's powers. Now, Nigeria's total debt profile has increased 52 to 52.2 trillion from 49.8 trillion naira, okay, which the Debt Management Office, the DMO, said it was as at March 31st, 2023. The increase was initiated by the newly procured $3 billion loan by the NNPC from Afrexim Bank to stabilize the naira and see Nigeria through crucibles of petrol subsidy removals. On Wednesday, August 16, the Nigerian oil firm revealed that it signed a commitment letter and team sheet with the bank for an urgent 3 billion crude oil repayment loan to cool the chaotic forex market at the official exchange rate of 774.77 per dollar, published on FMDQ on Tuesday, August 15, 2023. The 3 billion loan equals about 2.3 trillion, or 1% of Nigeria's existing 49.8 trillion as of March 31 this year. Now, if that was going to cushion the economy, this is going to cushion inhabitants or indigents or Nigerians as a whole, the populace, so that their lives are better off than where they are at the moment, then I'll ask myself the question, why not? Because I always say that now loans, there's nothing wrong with taking a loan. Okay, you take it, you invest it, but as whether it is being invested in the right sector or in the right thing, so that we know that just a matter of time we will be making a profit out of it, or at least it's something that we are using to secure the future of the next generation, then it's something worth doing. But again, the question comes in when we are looking at, are we getting value for money? Well, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, the politics continue. Pretty soon we're going to be having the electoral tribunal coming out with their verdicts. But with everything that is going on, do you think that they have the guts to come and actually say exactly what is going to happen, or what they reckon has happened, or they will succumb to pressure? Okay, the national chairman of the ruling All Progressive Congress, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, has boasted of increasing fortunes of his party, saying discussions were on to get some opposition political parties to collapse into the APC. Ganduje disclosed this while giving an insight into the visit of Minister Designate and former Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike to his residence on Tuesday. Now, as whether Wike will be joining the APC as a minister in President Bola Tinubu's led APC administration, Ganduje said the former Rivers governor was ready to cooperate with the ruling party without necessarily joining ship. He said, "You know, Wike is a minister designate, so he came. We discussed because I was looking for him to congratulate him that, and also he came to congratulate me, and we discussed that when he becomes minister fully, he will work very hard in order to move the ministry he is giving forward, and is ready to cooperate." But we didn't discuss the issue of his coming to APC or not coming to APC. This issue or that issue will arise later. Now, do you think the PDP should still accept Wike as part of their membership? Well. Starr Radio UK. The final story from Nigeria, and then we bring the update from Nigeria to a close there. The Corps Marshal, FRSC, Dawda Bill, has ordered immediate clampdown on all old and rickety vehicles across the country. Now, the story says that Bill gave the directive in a statement by the Corps Public Education Officer, Assistant Corps Marshal Mr. Bizi Kazim, on Thursday in Abuja. The FRSC Corps Marshal said the directive becomes necessary due to a trending video of an old car with 3 worn-out tires plying the highway in Sagamu in Ogun State. He, however, ordered immediate clampdown on the vehicle and the arrest of the owner, as the act could endanger the lives and property of the public. According to him, the attention of the cops was drawn to a trending video of the old vehicle with mechanical issues plying the expressway. And I'm asking the question, is it that the wheel came off while the person was driving the vehicle, or he started the vehicle and had 3 wheels? Because I don't get it, because it will not balance well. Or has he put some weight on the other side and therefore tilting the car to the other side, and that's why it's making him able to drive? That is quite an interesting one there. The vehicle with registration number Lagos AA07AG was not only old but was plying the highway with just 3 worn-out tires. The person or the personnel of the agency are directed to be on the lookout for the car and other unstable vehicles plying major roads in Nigeria. The operation will be conducted nationwide, and severe punishment awaits the owner and anyone using such vehicles, he said. Now, Bill said the new order was part of a cautioned effort by the FRSC to reduce the occurrence of road accidents on Nigeria's roads. He said that all sector commanders and zonal commanding officers of the FRC were to begin enforcing new order with immediate effect. Well, listeners, this is Starr Radio UK. Updates from Nigeria. This is why I bring it to a close for today. We take a commercial break. We come back and I'll bring you all that is happening from other parts of the world. Stay tuned and don't you go away.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I bring you the time now to exactly 11:37 from the hearts of London. So wherever you are, stay tuned and don't touch the dial. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, I remain yours sincerely, the one and only.
This is the morning show with Archie.
Okay, let's move on. So, were interesting stories from Nigeria, weren't they? Well, as we do say on this platform, may Nigeria not happen to you, and I pray it's so that it will not happen to you. Now, in other part of Africa, outbreak of a dengue epidemic in the east of Chad. Health Minister is saying, Chad Ministry of Health and said on Wednesday that an epidemic of dengue fever had broken out in the east of the country. Let me bring you that because this country is impoverished and everything like that goes on as well. The beginning of August, a viral disease transmitted by a mosquito, the several forms of which are rare but can be fatal. The Ministry of Public Health and Prevention informs the public of outbreak of an epidemic of dengue fever in Health District of Abeshe, the capital of Kwadi region, around 650 kilometers east of N'Djamena, Chad's capital, and Abdelmadej Abdahim Mahamat, the Minister of Health, in a statement sent to us on 7th of August. Samples taken and analyzed confirm the existence of the epidemic, but for the moment we have not yet recorded any deaths, said the ministry. to us. Now, transmitted by the bite of an infected mosquito. Now, dengue fever is a virus that is widespread in hot countries and occurs mainly in urban and semi-urban areas, causing between 100 and 400 million infections over a year or every year, according to the World Health Organization. Dengue fever can cause high fever, headaches, nausea, vomiting, muscle pain, and in the most serious cases, hemorrhaging that can lead to death. Okay, I hope that the authorities are in charge, because I can see them in a picture before me spraying, doing their best to spray the deaths away. Starr Radio UK. Now, over 60 are dead in a migrant boat sinking off Cape Verde's coast. Now, more than 60 migrants are presumed to have died on a board pirogue that left the coast of Senegal at the beginning of July and was found off the coast of Cape Verde on Monday. The International Organization for Migration said on Wednesday an estimated 63 people died and 38 survived, including 4 children aged between 12 and 16. The boat was spotted in the Atlantic on Monday, around 150 nautical miles from the Cape Verdean island of Starr, by a Spanish fishing vessel, which alerted the Cape Verdean authorities said the police of the archipelago around 600 kilometers from the Senegalese coast. In addition to the 38 survivors, the rescuers found the remains of 7 people, the spokeswoman reported. According to the testimonies of survivors quoted by the Senegalese Ministry of Foreign Affairs and other sources, the boat had left the town of Fasboy, that is west on the Senegalese coast, on the 10th of July, with 101 passengers on board, all Senegalese, with the exception of one Bissau Guinean. Now, as a result, 56 people are reported missing. Generally, when people are reported missing following a shipwreck, they are presumed dead, explained the spokeswoman. The authorities have so far refrained from commenting on what happened after the pirogue left on 10th of July, but those reported missing are all dead. Abdul Karim Starr, an official of the local artisanal fishing council, a professional organization, said. There is sadness, consternation, despair, and total calm. Mother Sam, a local councillor from Fastboy, said. According to Mrs. Sapp, 98% of occupants of the pirogue were from Fastboy. They were born and raised in this fishing village. One of the survivors who spoke to his father on the phone told him that the others missing were dead. He said other families are waiting to find out if their children are among the survivors, he said. And that is when I see leadership of these countries. I don't know much about Senegal. I don't know what their leadership style is like, as to whether they live within their means and do their best for their people, or they see their people also struggling and they rather live opulent lives, having convoys of what, and they don't see or smell anything of challenge that the majority of the people are facing. That is becoming the push factor to cause them to take such treacherous journey to a place where they think is flowing with milk and honey. Well, listen at Starr Radio UK, 11:43 the time. Senegal opposition says Sonko's health is deteriorating after 17 days on hunger strike. Now, as his hunger strike enters its 3rd week, concern is growing over Senegal opposition leader Ousmane Sonko's health. Speaking to a French broadcaster RFI, the opposition Yahweh Askan WI coalition said Sonko had rejected his plea to end the strike. On July 28, Sonko was arrested and charged with plotting an insurrection, undermining state security, and criminal association with a terrorist body. He began his hunger strike 2 days later. On August 6, he was admitted to the main hospital in the capital of Dakar. The opposition says it holds the Senegalese government accountable for Sonko's condition. Sonko, who placed 3rd in the presidential election 2019, is popular with the country's youth. In June, he was convicted in a separate case of corrupting the youth and sentenced to 2 years in prison. That conviction sparked clashes that left 16 dead, according to the government. And Sonko's supporters maintain that the charges against him are part of government efforts to derail his candidacy in the 2024 presidential elections. Well, listeners, it is Star Radio UK, and that is where I bring that story to a close there. But tomorrow, God willing, I'll be bringing all that you needed to know. But some of the headlines say Zimbabwe ready to conduct harmonized elections. How harmonized is the harmonized election? We will tell you more about that as the days unfold. But well, just few days or weeks on, the Bank of Ghana Bank of Ghana's headquarters is being constructed. A new one is being constructed. But information coming through from Ablakwa, who seems to be the whistleblower now, say that the whole contract is bloated, and the contracts have been given to an unregistered company. Really? The question is, why? The Member of Parliament for North Tongo, Kujato Ablakwa, has uncovered a balloon in the cost of a new Bank of Ghana headquarters from an initial amount of $80 million to the present $250 million. The lawmaker further alleged that one of the construction firms picked through single source PPA for the project is not registered company in the country. Mr. Kujato Ablakwa also alleged that another company was granted a PPA approval for project management services 3 months before the said company was registered. Unraveling the bankrupt Bank of Ghana head office mystery from an initial $81.8 million suddenly escalating to $121 million and currently threatening to exceed $250 million. How it started during COVID-19. Now, procurement violations and rigid corrupt deals, Mr. Ablakwa disclosed in a tweet on August 17, that's today. And that's quite a big one. But I can tell you that we'll be looking into it, God willing, tomorrow and the days to come. Because what is the government up to? A moment ago, sometime last week, they said that the Bank of Ghana has written off the loan of what? How much? Is it 68 million? Or is it billion? Cities? Whatever it was. Meanwhile, that same Bank of Ghana is now constructing a new headquarters. Now, what is wrong with the old headquarters? I remember I've been there before. Interestingly, that time there was the deputy governor who was Benasco. Benasco was the brother of the former FG Benasco. You remember him? Yeah. I've forgotten his first name. So I went to see him. We're doing some campaign advertising work for publicity work for the Bank of Ghana pertaining to old notes, and how it's being handled and how everything there. So I remember going into the lift. I was with a friend of mine, and when we went to the lift, and then the lift wasn't working. It was dark in there, and we were stuck in there for ages. Now, gone are the days that you have mobile phones that have got that now recently, where we had mobile phones where they have got lights, spotlights on it, so you can just turn it on and see. Now, it was difficult because we entered, and I don't remember the phone that I had at the time, that we entered, and then as the door shut, now we couldn't see anything, so we couldn't see which knob to press to know whether we are going up or we're going down. So if that is what they were talking about then, it could have been sorted, right? A few times that I went there to be looking for him or some of the to the governor then at the time, the governor and the deputy. We did few business with them, so I most of the time go to the place. But the question is, why now? Why are they trying to build a new headquarters now? He's saying some are giving an excuse that it's in an earthquake-prone zone. When was the last time we had a tremor around those areas? Is it a good time to be building that in a country where people are so desperate? Well, the government now, the MPP are saying that don't work. We are going to break the 8. With what? Well, let me rest my case. But I don't belong to any of those parties, whether the NDC or they've all come in and they've just all messed up big time, promising and never being able to deliver nothing. So at times I tell my producer and my friends around me that I don't have any faith or any hope for that part of the world. But we'll come to it maybe later on. Why are they building an edifice that is costing them $250 million? What is wrong with the other one? Are they going to break it down and build a cathedral there, or build a presidential villa there, or what exactly are they going to do? Or maybe build a secondary school there, or sell it to one of the cronies? What exactly is going to happen there? It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's come to some other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world before we bring the program to a close. In Pakistan, more than 100 arrests after a church has been burnt down. I remember sometime last year, let me say good morning to Bishop Michael Ayesi and Reverend Kweku. And they went on a mission to Pakistan and were getting people, to crowdfunding so that they can go there to minister. But if you see things like this happening, then you lose. So we say people of faith in that particular tolerance. Now, more than 100 people have been arrested in an East Pakistan city after thousands of Muslims burned churches and vandalized homes. The violence in Jaranawala was sparked by claims that 2 Christian men had torn pages from the Quran. The historic Salvation Army Church was still smoldering on Thursday, one day after the riot. The ruins have been surrounded with barbed wires, and the situation remains tense. Now, public gatherings have also been restricted for 7 days in Faisalabad district, which includes Jaranwala. The 2 men accused of damaging the Quran, Islam holy book, have not been arrested, though they have been charged with blasphemy, which is punishable by death in Pakistan. Even though Pakistan has yet to sentence anyone to death for blasphemy, a mere accusation can result in widespread riots, causing lynching and killings. Now, 2 years ago, a Sri Lankan man accused of blasphemy was killed by an enraged mob and had his body set on fire in 2009. A mob burned down about 60 homes and killed 6 people in Gorja district in Punjab after accusing them of insulting Islam. Pakistan inherited blasphemy law from the British in the 19th century. In the 1980s, Islamabad introduced stiffer penalties, including the death sentence for insulting Islam. Is there the need for a reformation of those laws? Because religious tolerance, I say it all the time, you want to fight my God will fight for himself, not me. Okay? So when I see people taking the laws into their own hands and saying that because this person has said that I'm going, and the next, maybe somebody who's your neighbor has gone on, and then you go and do all those things. I don't know, I don't get it. But maybe one day I'll get somebody to come and explain to me why they think that they need to be fighting for their God. Okay? Alright then. My apologies if it happens that I'm being a bit strong there or being offensive. Yeah, I don't mean that. But well, I need to bring that across. Okay. One story from the US before we come to one story from the UK and we bring the program to a close. A Texas woman has been charged with threatening to kill a judge who is overseeing a criminal case against former US President Donald Trump. And here again, I say sycophancy and what is stupidness of people. Deranged. Because they will call themselves what? What do they call them? Is it evangels? Or what do they call them? Somebody give me the name. Extreme Christian extremists. Let me put them that way. Abigail Joshua, 43, alleged phoned the court in Washington, D.C. on the 5th of August and used a racial slur in a message for U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan. Ms. Shry also allegedly threatened to kill a Democratic member of Congress. She admitted making the call after investigators traced her phone number according to a court document. In the call, Ms. Shry allegedly told the judge, who is overseeing an election conspiracy against Mr. Trump, "You are in our sight. We want to kill you." Prosecutors say Ms. Shry added, "If Trump doesn't get elected in 2024, we are coming to kill you." The caller also threatened all Democrats in Washington, D.C. and the LGBT community, according to the court filing. Now, what exactly is going on in their heads? What exactly is going on in their heads? The question is, has Trump wronged? Is what he's doing right? Or as he did say in the past, before he became a presidential candidate and became a president or joined the Republican Party, he said when he was asked whether he was going to run for president, he said no. But he said if you're going to, he said if I'm going to join the Republicans because they don't use their heads. Because they would say anything, because it's spiritual. And as some people say, religion is the opium of the masses. So just do anything about it and they just go, ooh. But it's about time that we use our heads, what God gave us. I tell you all the time, I cannot stop the bird from flying over my head, but I can stop it from creating a nest on my head or in my hair. That I can do. So when I see people behave that way, honestly, well, Starr Radio UK, it is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, and that person will call themselves Christian, right? Shame on to them. It is all Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, the final story: the chat show host Sir Michael Parkinson has died age 88. The broadcaster said Michael Parkinson has died age 88. His family has confirmed. His TV career spanned 7 decades, and he interviewed the world's biggest stars on his long-running chat show. A statement from Sir Michael's family said, after a brief illness, Sir Michael Parkinson passed away peacefully at home last night in the company of his family. The family requests that they are given privacy and time to grieve. My apologies. The BBC Director General Tim Davie led the tributes, describing Sir Michael as truly one of a kind and an incredible broadcaster and journalist who will be hugely missed. Michael was the king of the chat show, and he defined the format for all the presenters and shows that followed. Davie said he interviewed the biggest stars on the 20th century and did so in a way that enthralled the public. Michael was not only brilliant at asking questions, he was also a wonderful listener. And this all has come your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, and I say, may his soul rest in perfect peace as I bring the program to a close for today. Tomorrow, God willing, I'll be back here and I'll be bringing you the Friday edition at the same time from 10 to 12. God richly bless you, and as we pray on this platform, may Nigeria not happen to you. May your God fight your cause. Okay? Don't take the loss into your own hand. Enjoy the music. It says Broken Pencil.
Alright.
From Kobe Burhan.
This is a letter to the broken.
Radio UK.
I see you fighting all the demons in your life that have wreaked heavy carnage.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening.
Don't be dismayed. I know you think that your dreams and everything that you hope for seem to be late. Yeah, looks like your problems don't seem to go nowhere. Just take a deep breath. People talk about you, it's got you feeling down and really stressed. Don't tell me you don't know the trouble that I've been going through. You self don't know, see, the same thing they go through, me self and they go through too. Who told you the lie? When you fall, it's the end of your life. I heard a whisper from above, I pray it opens up your eyes. Broken pencil still write, so keep on writing. And fallen soldiers still rise, so keep on fighting. One day you'll lift up your eyes to the skies and your light will be shining. One day you will win, one day you will win. Broken pencil still writes, so keep on writing. And falling soldiers still rise, so keep on fighting.
Online, on mobile, and soon on radio. This is Starr Radio UK, the leading Afro-Caribbean radio station in London.
One day, I'll snap on it. News around this life is not fair. Greed is all we see. You gave your heart to the wrong folk, they broke it, and now you put it on free. Fake life on Instagram and Snapchat got you feeling ungrateful. My sister, if you could see the real them, you know you are being a great fool. You wrote a paper and failed. Sit down and write it again. One day you will kill him. He broke your heart and you cried. Give love another try. True love will heal him. I'm not trying to look down on your problems. No. I know say you don't know how to sabi solve them. Allow me to introduce you to someone I know. He's a specialist in handling cases and issues we don't blow.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening.
If you fell, just rise. If you fell, just rise.